here with the lead than they were in that game.
Stauskas gets it with the drive inside. That's his first field goal since 8:51 remaining in the first half. But Adrian Payne has been the story for the Spartans with 18 in the game.
The all-new 2014 RLX Sport Hybrid with super handling all-wheel drive. A more natural performance.
Michigan State by 12. Watch this play a moment ago. The split of the double team from Appling. Now look at the ball movement. After all the rotations from Michigan, because of that penetration, and you just find the open man. Go from a good shot to a great shot. Appling could have shot it. Harris could have, but Payne had the wide open look. That is beautiful.
13 of Payne's 18 points, Greg, have come here in the second half.
And it's interesting also about the impact that Payne has on Appling in the pick and roll. Tom Izzo talked about it. He said it hurts Appling's game when you don't have Payne because of his ability to pick and pop as well as roll. And that's why you see that split there, because the defense is really trying to hone in on that three-point shooter.
Oh, what a pass. Valentine, Dawson. Tom Izzo's wife living in the crowd. Kids are there. And the Spartan faithful. 2:20 to go. The three will not fall for Robinson.
And I'll tell you what, tough to pressure Michigan State because they've got Valentine, Appling, Gary Harris, all capable of handling pressure.
As are really Payne and Dawson for their position. They're very good ball handlers.
Stauskas picks up the foul. Valentine was making the spin. 2:02 to go.
How about that pass from Valentine on that pressure release play where it looked like he was going to throw it to the corner to Harris. That was the obvious play, and he anticipated the play and found Dawson. That was just beautiful. It's like they have multiple point guards on this team. It's not just Appling. Valentine and Harris, they look like point guards as well.
You know, and he's probably their best passer at that small forward position. Improved his rebound. You see the no look there. And, you know, we talked a lot about Michigan having a chance at a 1. Well, Michigan State's putting forth a pretty good audition potentially for a 2 seed, because you made the point earlier that if this holds, they'll actually have a better overall record on the season than Michigan. And when you factor in the injuries, and that's where I think it'll get interesting from the committee standpoint, where do they weigh that, knowing that those guys are now back and healthy?
Morgan picked up his 4th foul. He'll take a seat. Zach Irvin has come in.
One thing I will say, Greg, is they cannot be a 4 seed. You can't possibly have a Sweet 16 matchup between one of the top 4 seeds in the country, say, you know, Arizona, Florida, Wichita State. You can't have one of those teams play Michigan State in the Sweet 16, because I think you're looking at 2 of the top 5 teams in the whole country meeting way too early. So minimum a 3 seed for Michigan State.
That's a very good point. And you know, even though they've had their struggles and it's been well documented, they still have some quality wins, both non-conference as well as conference.
They come in with Harris on the side, Appling with the feed, and Michigan State smells blood. First points in the half for him. Dawson and Payne have both gone up for the ball several times together in unison.
You know, it'd be interesting to chart, and teams do this, they chart contested shots versus uncontested shots. For Michigan, they have 51 attempts. Greg, if you had to guess, how many uncontested shots for Michigan out of those 51?
I would say, honestly, probably less than 10%.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what happens too. Is again, we harp on it, but it's so true about basketball. It's a game of rhythm, and the way you disrupt rhythm is disrupt timing and spacing, and you force the offense to be created by the individual as opposed to the execution of your plays, and that's been the strength of Michigan State in this game. They haven't allowed Michigan, who's the best probably in the country in half-court offensive execution, one of the most efficient teams as well, not on display here today, in part because of that Spartan defense.
Can you think of a team in college basketball that has used their conference's tournament to spin their possibilities around so quickly like Michigan State?
I mean, Virginia already was a high seed, but by winning the ACC, not only did they possibly get a 1 seed, but what they've done for their program.
Yes.
You know, beating Duke in the final. Tony Bennett trying to build for the future. It's got to help recruiting. Just the credibility that Virginia has gained by winning the ACC.
And it's great. First time they've won the ACC tournament since 1976. But think about the last few years, UConn and Louisville, who won the national championship. UConn with Kemba Walker a few years ago, they weren't even a tournament team going into the conference tournament, won 5 consecutive, then 6 consecutive to win it all.
Right.
And then now, you know, last year Louisville, very similarly, they dealt with a lot of injury over the course of the season, were able to kind of catapult themselves from a momentum standpoint and ride that wave to a national championship.
Stauskas at the line. He's now got 16 points, 5 of 5 from the stripe at 4 of 14 firing. We got Dockich checking in. We're about a half hour away from the selection show. Committee putting the final touches on what is going to be a wide open tournament. And Michigan State, you just know they're going to feel something coming out of this. Stauskas is done for today.
Boy, he had to work for every one of his 17 points. 4 for 14 from the field. He knocked down a couple threes early that were contested, but I think playing 3 days in a row and then the relentless pressure of Michigan State just finally wore him down.
Here's Appling with the drive. And a foul and 56 seconds to go. As both head coaches are clearing their benches, and Michigan State and their record, one of you said this as the game was just getting started, they're going to have a record of 26-8, which will be a win better overall than Michigan, who won the conference.
Seems strange, doesn't it? I mean, Michigan's the team that's had really the better year. But Michigan State, a lot of the attention was taken off them when they went through that stretch where they lost 6 of 10 late in the year. But they're back.
And this also, guys, not to cut you out, Kevin, this still doesn't dampen the accomplishment of this Michigan team. To win the Big Ten without arguably your best player, Mitch McGary. At the very least, they're going to be a 2 seed, I would assume, heading into selection Sunday this evening. And then, you know, they're going to still have an opportunity. Because the thing is, this is a tougher matchup for them because Michigan State knows that. Once you get in the tournament, you're not going to be playing in conference. You're going to have teams that may not be equipped to deal with the trio of perimeter talent that they have and the efficiency they show on the offensive end.
A little bit earlier, we talked about the physical play in the game. Stauskas was the main effort given by the Spartans against this Wolverine great. And look at, he's got scratches on the neck and on the bicep, and he has gone through battle. Bird. Irvin defending, ball off his hands on the dribble, and away it goes. So Michigan State will finish 26-8, and Michigan will finish 25-8. Michigan State led by 9 at halftime, had a 10-2 run to start the second half, and they never looked back. Bielefeld is in there. Irvin. And Wetzel. The Spartans are whole and dangerous.
You know, one thing we didn't talk much about today, this Spartan senior class is the only one that has yet to participate in a Final Four. Well, let's see if history holds true for the Spartans.
Michigan State wins their 4th Big Ten tournament championship. And they do it convincingly against the conference champions. The most outstanding player of this Big Ten tournament was Brandon Dawson. And I would agree, high percentage shooting, double digits, and great rebounding.
Well, the impact that he's had. Remember, he didn't play in the first 2 meetings with Michigan, but the impact today was so apparent. The physical play and his versatile defensive play. Well deserved.
Tom Izzo will visit with our Tracy Wolfson when we come back to Indianapolis. The Spartans are Big Ten postseason champions.